This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Hello, America, and welcome to the #1 radio station in all of Fort Myers Beach. Beach Talk Radio. Here are your hosts, Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good evening, everybody, and welcome to La Ola for a special show. It's called Follow the Yellow Brick Road to Success event. And all the money raised tonight at La Ola will be donated to the Fort Myers Beach Elementary. And there are some great prizes and gifts that are going to be given away tonight. And Amy Strom is here to kind of give us a little bit of information on exactly what's going on here. Amy, say hello to everybody.
Hi, welcome. So we are so excited to finally be putting on our leadership program. And as part of Leadership Lee, our class of 2023, the best class ever. We are so excited to select Fort Myers Beach Elementary to be the recipient of the donations that we raised tonight. So we were the hurricane class in 2023. And so we realized that our future are our children. And so the school, with it really being destroyed and them having to move, and talking with Dr. Kohler and talking with the community, that we need to invest in our future. And so the teachers not only lost their building, but all the supplies and all of those things that they do day in and day out for those families. And so we just wanted to help support them.
Well, can you tell us a little bit, for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about what Leadership for Lee is.
So Leadership Lee is a program put on by the Southwest Chamber. It's the oldest chamber leadership program in the 5 counties here. And it's a very established program. There's about 1,500 alumni in our area. And it really works with professionals in our area, and we work to develop leadership skills. We learn about our community, how to give back, and how to support each other, and work together with people that we don't normally work with, which is awesome.
Do you meet like on a weekly basis, or?
So the program is about 16 weeks throughout the year, and then you do a culminating project.
Now, Leadership Lee, do you have more background on Leadership Lee and what that's all about? Or
Well, it's a 16-week program.
yeah, did I miss that? You know what? You know why I feel like I missed that question? Because the disco lights are distracting me, and I've been trying to figure out if there's a way to get the disco lights off. And you're blue, and then you're red, and then you're yellow, and so I missed the entire question.
Now you've got them up on the thing there.
Tom's turning them up in the air. Thank you, Tom.
What are some other things that different groups have done through the years? Because it's been an established program, correct?
Yes. So I know that there have been a few different events. Some have supported different nonprofit organizations in the area. Some have worked for different projects, some built a playground, I believe, at Children's Advocacy Center. I'm not quite sure. Some at some different things for the hospital.
Who might be interested in joining this and getting involved? What kind of people?
I think everybody should do a leadership program. To be honest, we were just talking about it. We're all together again today, and we miss it. You get together, twice a month, and you really develop these long-lasting friendships that make connections with other professionals in the community that help us. And not only in our professional life, but also personally, we can continue to support each other.
And how does somebody get involved in the organization?
So they can go to the chamber website. They've just started their class right now, but go to the chamber website, and there are applications online.
And it's 16 weeks for anybody that wasn't listening repeatedly.
Now, is there a cost?
There is a cost.
Okay.
And Amy's looking for the crowd to give him some help there. Give us some help
the
there.
Cost, folks.
Anybody know what the cost is? All right, we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. And where are you? So I see from your name tag,
I'm from Valerie's house.
And so tell everybody about Valerie's house.
Valerie.
I mean, a lot of people know, but refresh.
So Valerie's House is a nonprofit organization, and we provide grief support for children who've lost a loved one. And so we work with the children. And so again, works right into the whole theme of, we had a lot of individuals who came because they had lost an individual out of the hurricane as well. And Dr. Kohler and the community as well. You know, we were all grieving after the hurricane. We're grieving our community. We're grieving the beach that we love so much. And so to be able to really support each other and come together, we need each other to do that.
So there's a lot of neat gifts and prizes up there. So there's this is great for the beach people. There's a giant cooler full of liquor.
I know.
I mean, it's perfect for the beach.
I know.
So
with a towel, you're good. You're set.
So where did all these gifts come from? And tell us how the whole process works here tonight.
So our class worked really hard to work in the community and get all of these things donated so that we could, or we did them ourselves so that we can provide back and give back.
And is it a silent auction, or people putting tickets in
There's
a bucket?
both.
Well, tell us.
There's both.
Tell us.
So there's
about
silent auction. Then we have 2 items up for silent auction this evening. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 items up for auction. We have the wonderful beach booze.
And I can tell you that that thing is fully stocked.
It is
there's
fully
like 30 bottles of different kinds
there's
of
over
liquor
30
in there.
bottles, a nice Lily Pulitzer towel and a cooler.
What kind of towel?
Lily Pulitzer.
What does that mean?
It's a designer. He doesn't understand. He just learned about Lululemon, but he hasn't moved on past that.
Where is that? Where do you buy a towel like that?
There's an outlet. They have an outlet store down at Miramar,
and right across the
And
way.
how much you think that towel costs?
Those are nice towels. All of that stuff is very nice. It's very
we
decorative.
have somebody in the on the sidelines here getting ready to pass off some information.
Passing notes.
Listen,
we're
this
passing
is
notes.
not a professional show. You can walk right in front of the camera.
Talk all about it. We have a wonderful fire pit that was
Oh.
donated by
look at
Tri-Circle
that.
Pavers.
Yeah.
So you can see, put that up there. That is a great item. It'll come in and be built.
Is
Wow.
that
it's a custom built pit. It's a custom built fire pit.
Fire pit.
And it's available in different colors.
at a value of $620? So folks, get out your check, because it should go for way more than that. That thing is awesome looking.
I want to acknowledge our good friend Barbara Hill is in the audience today, all the way up from Fort Myers Beach.
Yes.
Nice to see you, Barbara.
And so I see you have tickets. So are you going to be selling tickets
Come on over and
then
explain
people?
it. Yeah, come on
come on
down.
in.
Yeah, there we go.
We want to spread the love
Yeah.
around.
Sure, we're selling tickets $5 a piece, or you get 5 for $20. And there are just several baskets there that have lots of amazing things in it, from hotel gift certificates to spa experiences to a wine tasting experience, and
There was
lots
some
of other
fancy
things.
cups over there.
Exactly,
There was
yeah.
also, and so
So-
people buy the tickets, they put them in the buckets that they want, and then it's a random.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So between 6:15 and 6:30, we'll be drawing from each of the buckets, and we'll
Very nice.
let the ticket winner know that they can take their basket with them.
And what is the opening price for the booze
I know.
cooler?
$100.
Has somebody bid
Yes.
on it yet? Somebody's bid on it, 100. So there's
I mean, that's
at
that's
least
going to go for a lot
$500.
more.
There's
Yeah.
at least $500 worth of liquor there. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll last one weekend on the beach. That's it.
You and all your friends, right?
I don't have any friends. So,
Well, that's true.
anything else do you want to share about what's going on
And
tonight?
there's one more raffle too that some people might be interested. We have 2 tickets to the Broadway Barbara B. Mann Broadway series this year.
Sweet.
So that's great, with some other FSW paraphernalia in that basket as well.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Amy, for coming
Thank
on
you.
from Leadership League, part of the.
I just want to ask a quick question.
Yes, go
Did
right
you
ahead,
you
dear.
sold tickets for this event?
We did. We sold
Okay.
tickets, so people could purchase ahead of time, or they can come down now and purchase.
Okay, well,
as
that's
they
what I
walk
wanted
in.
to get out. Like, folks, if you're in the area, we're at Laola's and at Bell Tower. Come on down. You can come in.
Right, it's
Can-
$30. It gets you 1 drink coupon and appetizers, plus all of us and the enjoyment of seeing the baskets and
And the
helping the
possibility
children.
to win
To
some
win.
amazing
Right.
gift baskets.
And you get to see Barbara Hill because she's
Absolutely.
here from the beach.
And you get to do something good.
And after the
Yeah.
event is over, from 7 to 10, there's going to be live music here at La Ola. So come, stay, join us, and stay for the music.
And what they didn't tell anybody was Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond is going to do push-ups after the show is over, and you can bid on the push-ups to see how many you can do. So, there was something I wanted to say, but
he does this all the time. He needs a minute. I'll have to fill. Oh, did it come back
I remember
to you?
What it is.
Boomerang
Even though there's going to be appetizers, you can still order off the menu.
You can still order off the menu, yep, and have dinner and enjoy the great food here. And that was also one of the reasons that we wanted to come and work with La Ola, because Tom is amazing, and also with La Ola losing its space downtown. Yeah. So we want people to know that they're here, they're open, and come visit.
The place looks spectacular. The sound is great.
Perfect.
Yeah, and they even opened it up a little bit more. If you were here early on when they first opened, there was kind of like a wall here, but they opened it up so there are more tables.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And things look great. So thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
We appreciate you inviting us down here. We don't usually get invited to special events, so thank you very much. And I think they have some really cool prizes over there that you can purchase tickets for. And you can also
they're not really prizes, but they're gift baskets. There's all sorts of amazing stuff, and there must have been a lot of sponsors for this event tonight, because we can see a lot of them here on the sheet that they gave us.
Yes, and we can announce the sponsors if you don't mind.
No, go right ahead.
Thank you very much. A huge thank you to the Dorothy sponsors. See this. You'll have to follow along, folks, because this is the Follow the Yellow Brick Road to Success event. So the Dorothy sponsors are Tri-Circle Pavers, La Ola Surfside Restaurant, and Beach Talk Radio. Look at that. We got listed in there. Holy smokes. The Wizard sponsors are Sunstream Hotels and Resorts, Diamond Head Beach Resort, and the Cowardly Lion sponsors.
Are you getting it? Are you getting the theme here? Okay. I know sometimes you need a little help.
FSW Foundation. I was here early, so they kind of clued me in.
They gave you
an extra lesson. A Regents Bank and LCEC, Lee County Electric Cooperative. Mm-hmm. Is that what that is? The Yellow Brick Road sponsors, Rose Tree Realty, and the Toto sponsors, Linda Cox and Hope Zapata. So a lot of sponsors.
I wonder if she's related to the ranger down on the beach. His
Ranger
last
Zapata?
name is Zapata. Yeah.
Interesting research that we'll have to do. So all the money raised tonight is going to the Fort Myers Beach Elementary School for supplies for the teachers. Of course, they lost everything in the storm, and all this money.
And they just recently got back in mid-semester, mid-school year into their home.
I know Dr. Kohler is here, and I think Brian Hammond is going to come on next. One of my favorite guests of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Brian Hammond, Lee County Commissioner.
So I'm here because Kim asked me to be here.
I love it.
She likes my ideas. Anyways,
how are you, man? Good. Everything's good.
And I don't require push-ups before you come on.
Right? You didn't know that, did you?
I'm not that far into my New Year's resolution yet. I gotta see me in about 6 months.
So you were part of the chamber for a while. You were the president of the chamber. Tell us about the organization.
Not specifically this chamber. Okay. I was with the Greater Fort Myers Chamber, but we all kind of work together, especially in a time like this. And this is a really cool idea. You know, I talked to a lot of the business leaders who are here, who are part of this leadership class. And they recognize that the teachers, they come out of pocket for a lot of the stuff that they do to enhance their classroom experience. And they said, hey, as a business community, we recognize that we're benefiting from a well-educated workforce. We want to partner with you. We want to help you out to replace some of this stuff that you lost during the storm. And I admire them for that. I think that's just a fantastic idea.
And businesses, how do they tell you they're rebounding from the storm?
Yeah, obviously, I admire the entrepreneurial spirit that you see up and down Estero Boulevard on Fort Myers Beach, where you see people who have set up tents and set up outdoor restaurants and bars. It reminds me of the days after the pandemic, too, where we tried to do some really creative things to get people back in business. So I hear that people are coming back. Of course, we were all there together at Margaritaville when they opened up. 400 people got their first day at work that day, which was exciting. Yeah. So, they're coming back. And I just had a briefing on how things are going at the airport. And believe it or not, looking at the forecast for March, the passenger count, the seats that have been sold of people that are supposed to come in, we may see one of the best marches ever in the history of the airport.
Wow.
Well,
and that is usually our peak season.
let's hope that the weather joins us, because this has been
been cold, right?
Crazy wet. El Nino needs to go.
I voted against the weather.
Why do you think this March is looking? Did they give you an idea why? Is it that just people want to come down to Florida?
Yeah. I think the world gave us a 1-year reprieve from tourism, to kind of get things straightened out after the hurricane. But I think they're ready and they're interested to come back, which is good, because if you talk to the mayor of Fort Myers Beach, talk to the mayor of Sanibel, you talk to the businesses, they'd love to see the customers coming back.
We need more.
How's the rest of the county rebounding? Because you're all over, so you see the Cape and everything.
And that's really what kind of makes this hard, right? The rest of the county has rebounded so well that life feels very normal, and you have to kind of make sure that they remember the neighbors on the barrier islands who still aren't back to normal. And I've tried to put myself in the shoes of somebody who must live on like Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel. When you come into town and see that, oh my gosh, everything's just back to normal here, what that must feel like. And I try to really empathize with them over that.
And the hotels, if we get more hotels online, right there. I think I heard the statistic that only 30% of the hotels on the beach are back, and I don't know how Sanibel, it's not much better.
The county-wide statistic that I am familiar with is that about 71% of the rooms are open.
Okay.
So that means 29% of the rooms that we had before Hurricane Ian either no longer exist or just are closed. And so we need to see those get rebuilt and reopened. And the reason why we don't see them yet is probably because those facilities need to be completely rebuilt.
Yeah, and which probably explains some of the traffic issues. If you have to stay in Fort Myers to go to Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel, it's going to cause a traffic backup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're feeling it. This morning I was driving to the county commission for work, and both bridges had accidents on them.
Oh, wow.
So no matter which way, I was born and raised here. And as a local, I kind of pride myself on finding that shortcut or that way around all the traffic. I couldn't do it this morning.
There's really no shortcut if you have to go over the Caloosahatchee,
Absolutely.
though. I mean, you've got a couple of ways to go, and unless you're going to go by boat. But
yeah.
Any big things coming up business-wise in Lee County that you're keeping an eye on that people should know about?
Yeah, tomorrow at the Lee County Port Authority meeting, we're going to talk about Skyplex. This is the area that's on the north side of the airport where the old terminal used to be. For those of you who've been around for a while, the terminal we have is the new one.
Yeah.
We used to have an older one on the north side. They're going to turn that whole area into an office park. And we've enlisted a company to help us plan it and then market it to the world. And, the goal is an office park with businesses that are related to the aviation industry. Obviously, these would be really good paying jobs. These would be great opportunities for us to generate more revenue at the airport. So we're going to talk about that plan tomorrow at the Lee County Port Authority meeting. And so the cool thing about the airport, a lot of people don't know, we don't use any property tax dollars at all to fund the airport.
Wow.
The airport's self-funded through the revenue that it makes by leasing out space on airport property. So if this office park takes off and we get major companies that come in and locate and build property near the airport or on airport property and lease that from us, that will help us continue to enhance the airport.
And that's out by Gateway where we are. You see the signs coming out of the back part of the airport that dumps out onto Daniels.
And you could really see over the holidays where they had leased out the land for the parking, because it was crazy out there.
And I was really impressed with what the team at the airport did with the parking. I got a lot of good compliments from people. So I hope people enjoyed that. We've got a really smart group out there.
And Ben is retiring, I saw, so you'll get a new person running the airport.
Yeah, so tomorrow at the Port Authority meeting, we're going to talk about who will be the new, at least where do we go from here anyways. Yeah, our airport executive director told us he's going to retire. He said his last day will be basically April 1st.
Okay.
We're going to miss him.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job, served the airport for 32 years, the last 4, almost 5 years as the executive director. Really smart guy, and just really happy for his time that he spent with us.
Yeah. Now, is there anything you can tell us about tourist dollars coming in, how that's going with the TDC?
I haven't gotten a chance to see the early numbers from this calendar year, but I can tell you our fiscal year ends in September 30th. And last year was down about 40% off of the year before. I mean, so that kind of almost aligns perfectly with the amount of rooms that were closed too. So yeah, we felt it. Now, it's not going to hurt us in the short term. We had saved up plenty of money in the Tourist Development Fund for kind of like a rainy day fund. So we'll be okay. We'll be able to do the same things that the Tourist Development, it's called the Visitor and Convention Bureau, has always done. They'll market to bring tourists down here. They'll re-nourish the beaches with some of that money. And they also use that money to pay for the mortgage on the baseball stadiums. So that's all taken care of. We'll be able to do all that with the money that we made last year.
Speaking of tourists, big attraction in Lee County and Fort Myers Beach is the pier. Have you heard anything new about the pier?
Oh, man, not since we last talked about a month and a half ago. Still in that, we got to go out and try and find the design company. We got to then hire the company that'll build it. And but I will say this, there is hope. On Tuesday's agenda, so this was yesterday, we did have an item to repair Bat House Park on Matt Lachey.
I saw that.
Not Fort Myers Beach, but Matt Lachey. And this will be reimbursed through FEMA. So we are, I guess it's hope that we are working the FEMA reimbursed projects through the pipeline. You know, this is a much smaller project than rebuilding a pier.
But you'll understand the process.
But exactly, right? So these things are getting rebuilt. They're not, obviously, we all want them back tomorrow. They're going to be back within the next few years.
And what about Lynn Hall Park?
Yeah, Lynn Hall Park is probably in the same boat as the pier.
And so when Sanibel gets renourished and Fort Myers Beach gets renourished, and I know this isn't a big county project, it's projects those two municipalities are working on. It's going to be crazy how nice those beaches are.
Yeah.
On both Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach, when that nice sand comes out and extends the beach, and it's really going to be great for tourists.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this at the airport again today. I had my briefing for tomorrow's meeting, right? And I was talking with the staff at the airport. The airport expansion should be done in about 5 years. The beaches should be almost completely renourished in about the next 5 years. And Lord willing, a lot of the new hotels and resorts on the beach may be built and opening in the next 5 years. I think we are primed for really about 5 years from now to see just massive tourism growth, which I think will really help the businesses on Fort Myers Beach. We just, as locals, got to help them hang in there so they can get to that.
Can the roads handle it?
It's a good question. In Florida, as fast as we grow, it's almost like you can never build roads fast enough to handle it. I have voiced my concern and disappointment, really, even with how slow the road building process is. And I know we've got a good team at the county. We're working hard to build those roads. We've got the money programmed for the next 10 years. It's probably over $1 billion worth of roads to build. We just got to get it done.
Somebody here.
Where does that come from? Where does that money come from?
Different revenue sources. So probably the biggest one is the gas tax.
Okay.
So when you go to the pump, you don't really see it because they don't break out the taxes, but probably like 19 cents per gallon goes towards the gas tax. So that we collect all that and use that to build the roads. We also get money from toll revenue, excess toll revenue. We also get money from impact fees. Believe it or not, I think we made somewhere in the neighborhood of it was close to $50 million in impact fees last year too. So we use the impact fees, the gas taxes, the toll revenues, and we try to build roads with that.
This county is growing like crazy, just like everybody wants to be in Florida.
Yeah, projected to be 1 million folks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it seems like, to me, watching you guys meet and the whole thing, and I don't want to get into politics very much, but it does seem like
me neither.
It does seem like the state legislature is either trying to get involved or doesn't believe the county can manage the growth. What is your perception on that aspect of things?
The state legislature is a wonderful group of people, and my comments are not directed at any of our local delegation because they're all fantastic, wonderful people. They have collectively, as a legislature, passed laws that are very favorable to people who want to develop in the state of Florida, laws that preempt the county, meaning they take the decision out of our hands and put it in the state's hands, or just take the decision away from us completely. So we actually have less power to stop or deny development. Not that that's really what I look to do anyways, but we have less control than we've ever had based on the legislative environment that we're in right now. Give you an example real quick. Several years ago, probably within the last within the last 10 years, maybe within the last 5 years, they passed a law that said commissioners are no longer allowed to deny new zoning requests based on traffic.
Right.
We've been hearing a lot about that.
Doesn't matter how bad the traffic is, doesn't matter how many people come to the podium and tell you guys the traffic is horrible, the roads can't handle it. You're not allowed to use that as a reason to deny a rezoning request. That was a decision the legislature made and not a decision your county commissioners made, but we get to hear about it at our meetings every Wednesday.
I mean, I feel like you should put that, maybe get some billboard space, because we hear that a lot, and it makes sense. And then when you hear that, I heard a developer say that, well, it can't be denied based on that. And I'm like, well, then somebody needs to tell people so they stop yelling at you guys or yelling at those powers that be and place their frustration further up.
Yeah.
Did they tell you what the logic was behind that being one thing?
Then it's the responsibility of the county to accommodate that, or what is the rationale as far as you
know? So there's a thing called takings law in the United States. So it really goes all the way back to the Constitution of the United States, that you have the right to own property and you have the right to use that property. And that right is whether you're an individual or a developer. It doesn't say that if you're using it for development, you're different than a person who owns it as an individual looking to live on it. So you have the right to use that property. If the government regulates your property to a point where you have no use, then you have effectively taken that person's property. So they go to court and they sue you, and typically they win in court. And typically what ends up happening is we have to pay your taxpayer money to this developer, and they still get to build. And now they've got your money to do it with.
Well, and, there's a lot of regulations when it comes to development. There's setbacks and different things, that your height and the whole thing. So,
height and density.
And that's the area where we work, right? I mean, so if you really truly were to dig into the 5 or 6 inches thick worth of material that we get before every zoning hearing, it's a lot of homework to do. And I pride myself on doing my homework, on knowing what I'm voting on. And in that 6 inches of paper is conditions on how this should be developed so that it is as compatible as possible with your neighbors. And that's what we work on. We work on the buffers, we work on the height, we work on things to make it more compatible. Because like you said, you have that takings law that says you can't just take away their use of the property.
And you guys are taking a beating on the Southeast thing too.
Yeah, we knew what we signed up for. It is a real privilege to be able to serve the community in this way. I do my best to really, I hope that I've built a reputation over the last 10 years that I'm going to do my homework and make the best decision for everybody.
Anything last you want to say about or advice to give to businesses on in all of Fort Myers in the upcoming future about how to be successful?
Be willing to train people. I talk to a lot of employers who tell me that, man, I can't hire people that I want, in certain areas. I think we're going to have to actually start working with the schools, and I know you've got our wonderful superintendent coming up, to be willing to take in kids that maybe don't have experience and train them. And I know it's always a risk as a business owner, because you're worried you might train them and then they'll leave you to go somewhere else and take all that knowledge somewhere else. But the truth is, I think it'll be easier for businesses to solve their own individual problems by creating their own workforce than trying to work through government regulation to solve the problem.
Thank you, Commissioner Brian Hammond. Unless
I
you
had
got something,
one,
go right ahead.
more question. It's a little off.
Okay.
Stuff, but since you're talking about working and the difficulty businesses have of hiring people, one of those things is housing. So I know money was infused in through the, I'll get it wrong, the CBDGR. Yeah.
CDBGDR.
Yeah, there you go. You got it good.
He's probably said it a million times.
Yeah, a million times. What can we look forward to in the future towards workforce housing?
About $700 million worth of low income, low to moderate income housing is going to come into Lee County thanks to that program. So we are working on Tuesday. We just created the evaluation committee. We're going to take in the applications from these people who want to build this housing. The committee will evaluate it and make a recommendation to the commissioners, and then we'll ultimately award those contracts. All of that gets started this year. So I think
it's on down there. Do you have a lot of applications? Has there been
we'll get plenty
a
of
lot
them.
of
Yeah,
interest?
absolutely.
Okay.
They're
because
actually,
there's incentives built in for those developers,
and
right?
there are developers that this is what they do.
Okay.
They go wherever the storms happen. They know how to fill out these applications and go through the process, and then they build these things. And so we'll see that housing, and hopefully, because it's mainly geared towards right. Well,
Right.
Unfortunately, but hopefully, because it's geared towards affordable, it will help with that.
I hope so.
Commissioner Hammond, thank you so much.
Yeah,
it's always great to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you again
and
for
we'll
helping
see
Fort
3
Myers Beach
push-ups
out.
later.
There you go. See y'all.
I love Commissioner Brian Hammond. He's doing a great job representing.
I know he's so good. We never
Lake
give
County.
him stuff in advance. Well, I don't know. I don't give him stuff in
never.
advance.
He doesn't. He's one of those people that doesn't need
he
questions
is
in
able
advance.
to just roll right off the cuff. Do you want me to go?
Why don't we see if the superintendent can come on next,
Okay.
and then I will let everybody know what's going on here. The crowd really picked up in the last 15 minutes. And we are at La Ola for a fundraiser for the Fort Myers Beach Elementary School. And all the money raised tonight will be going toward the supplies that the teachers need at the Fort Myers Beach Elementary School. So I think Dr. Kohler is coming on next. And we're going to talk to Dr. Kohler about everything that's going on. That's fine. We love Dr. Kohler. How are we doing, Dr. Tracy Kohler? So nice to see you.
Hello. It's nice to be back.
Yes.
I know you and I were saying when we saw each other, hey, how are you? It's been a while and it's been a lot.
It has been a lot for sure. So it's great to be back.
Was the last time you were on the show at Pete's?
We were just as I was appointed principal.
Yes, Pete's Time Out.
Yeah. And I came down to talk about kind of my vision for the school and how we were going to approach it, and then the vision's changed.
So this wasn't your vision for the school.
No,
somehow it was
not
a hurricane and
it was not. But I can tell you, after every negative experience, something positive happens, and that's really been the community support and the rallying of our students and staff. It's been incredible.
Let's start there. What now is the vision? Like, how have you reworked it? What has changed, and what are you looking forward to?
So the STEAM, the Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics program is still moving forward, albeit in a different direction because we had to purchase all new materials. So a lot of the funds that are used from different grants and from the great fundraising event that happened tonight will buy some of those materials, whether it's things like our Ozobots and Dash robots, all the way up until a partnership we will be having with Florida Gulf Coast University and the Water School.
Nice.
And doing all of the ecosystem, the biodiversity, really making those efforts come forth.
Heard a lot from some folks on the beach about the partnership coming up with the Water School. How neat that will be.
Is that the Sanibel Water School? I mean,
It's with Florida Gulf Coast University. And so with some of the funds that we receive from events like this, that will allow our students to have field trips to the actual campus of FGCU, to have some of their professors come out and actually give us some professional learning about marine biology and some activities, soil sampling, which was one of the really cool things that we learned about at the beginning of the year, to just implement some of those activities with our students so they become really familiar with the ecosystem that they live in.
And they're right there. I mean, it's
there.
so accessible for them to go out, and it's not like, you can go right across the street practically and you don't need a bus and just go.
Yep, exactly. Get those permission slips filled out, and then our whole backyard basically is our field trip, including the
because you've
Kansas
got
Pass.
the bay on right. So you've got a lot of diversity in the ecosystems that are down there.
We're very
That's awesome.
fortunate.
How are the kids doing back in their school?
Oh man, it's been a wonderful ride. December 5th, we opened up the school again to welcome our students back on campus. And they were so excited. That morning they were meeting in Bay Oaks parking lot, and we had the whole community there, the fire trucks, the police. They were sounding their sirens, and the students were yelling, "Let us in! Let us in!"
I didn't hear that part.
And then we were escorted in, and they're just so excited to see their classroom. It's the same teachers, same wonderful staff, new but kind of changed environment from what they remember, and they've been wonderful, truly wonderful. And we've had about 5 students newly enrolled.
There we go. So
yes.
When I was watching the kids walk over, and the parents and the fire truck and the sheriff's deputies, it was like, that's one of those events that those kids will remember for the rest of their lives. Even have to go through all that crap to get there. That moment in time was just a perfect setup for them.
It was this like surreal moment of all the the trauma and the struggles had come full circle. And here we were walking back to our school with all this wonderful love and support surrounding us. And it was very memorable.
Now, you talked about 5 new enrollees. Where are they coming from? And let people know, because it's kind of expanded the criteria for enrollment. Is that correct?
So right now, any of our barrier island schools have open enrollment. So that means, for example, Fort Myers Beach, you do not have to live and you do not have to work in order to enroll your student at Fort Myers Beach Elementary. Now, you'd be responsible for your own transportation. But yeah, it's open enrollment. Anybody can enroll. Now, if you do happen to work on the island, which would be like a great opportunity when you drive to work, we have Bay Oaks, who does our before school program. Then we have our, obviously, the school day. And then we have Bay Oaks again, who does our after school program. So parents can really be on island from like 6:30 in the morning all the way to 6 p.m. at night. So that covers a really good working shift amount of hours. And then they'd be right on the island near their children. So it's a great opportunity.
And the town did a great job getting Bay Oaks ready. The gymnasium looked spectacular. We were in there the other day for a meeting.
And even when we first came back to the island and Bay Oaks wasn't 100% ready for us, went to the Mound House and had some of our, before and now. It was wonderful. Students, they know the Mound House and they love it. And now it's really cute. You see them all go from the school and they walk over with your Bay Oaks adults, like our little ducklings. They walk over to Bay Oaks and they're so happy and excited to be part of that.
And right now it's K through 5.
It is correct? K through 5, just like it was pre-Ian.
Okay.
So are things going the way you plan them now? I mean, they're moving along the way you wanted to now.
Absolutely.
There's a long-term plan, so.
It is a long-term plan. About a week ago, we got about 95% of our furniture delivered.
Nice.
So so we're very fortunate with that. All of our bookshelves and our storage, and we're just waiting on the principal's furniture.
Okay. Always last.
Always last. And a couple of other storage units. But after that, we are 100% furnished.
Nice.
We're waiting on our playground, but that's something that has to be worked out through insurance with the town. And we're working on that.
One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting and kind of cool was that the kids went to San Carlos Elementary for, I don't know, like almost a full school year when you put it together, right?
Oh, yeah. We were there for a full school year.
And when
October to December. Right. So and 14 months.
When they were leaving that school, how sad it was for the kids and the teachers over there that got to know them for the year.
Yeah. So a lot of our faculty became very close with the faculty at San Carlos. They were very welcoming, shared their resources. We shared playgrounds, we shared the cafeteria, we shared the media center. And it was really, it's one of those like happy but sad moments. Right. Even people working in the front office, even the principal there, she and I were like, oh, we're going to miss seeing each other every day. Yeah. And so, of course, there was many positive things to look forward to, but you form friendships and bonds that will last.
Now, the event tonight is going to be raising funds for stuff that the school needs. If somebody wanted to, that's not here, can't attend, and wanted to do something, what are some things you need still?
Yeah, that's a great question. So
thank you.
Where's the
It's only on the weekend, Dr. Kohler.
All right. Well, you owe me later. So on the Southwest Florida Chamber website, on the events page are all the Amazon links to the teacher's wish list. So it's everything from our PBIS, or positive behavior intervention and support items, all the way up to some organizational items within the teachers' classrooms, desk drawer organizations, to actual, materials. So that would probably be the best place, because we even have our custodian who has needs.
Okay.
And so her items are listed there. So that's a really great place, because it gets right down to the nitty gritty, and you know exactly what you're purchasing and exactly for who.
So the chamber website that organized this event, not the Fort Myers Beach Chamber.
The Southwest Florida.
Southwest
so
Florida
if I put
Chamber.
that on our website and in the newsletter with that link, then I'll
That'd
make
be
it
great.
easier for people, because you still need things.
Sure, there's still things, there's a lot of consumable items that, students need and use, and it's rewards, it's positive reinforcemements. It's also those other consumable things, pens, markers.
Sure.
Whiteboard
Sharpies,
markers,
highlighters,
all
right,
of that.
right,
Yes.
right.
How are you fitting in the area that you have at the beach school with just the one facility so far?
Well, it definitely feels like a family.
Okay.
So I can't say it's a one-room schoolhouse, but it's a one-building schoolhouse. Yeah. And so as you walk through the front doors, you kind of have maybe 3 little outputs from the main door. You have the hallway that goes straight down, and that's our 4th and 5th grade, and our clinic and bookkeeper and school resource officer. And then you go to the left and to the right, and those are some academic classrooms. And it does feel strange going from an outdoor campus where, you open up your classroom and you're outdoor and you have to go outside to the next classroom. Now we're all undercover, if you will, under one roof. And so that has been wonderful to just be able to get from one place to another and see each other.
And remind us, how long had you been at the school before the storm? It wasn't that long.
No, it wasn't. My contract actually started July 1st of 2022.
Wow.
I was on campus before then, but and then we just had July, August, into September, the hurricane.
So how quickly does an event like this bring you to, it was a horrible thing, but I can imagine out of this tragedy, you have gotten close to these people that would have taken a lot longer.
Absolutely. While we were in our surviving mode, certainly reaching out to parents who needed help, offered my home. They can come with their kids and swim in the pool if they needed to. Nobody took me up on it, but it's more like giving them the opportunity to escape if they needed to, checking in on everyone daily. You're right. Out of that tragedy, certain positive things happened, and coming real close as a community was one of those positives.
And this is not something that you get in principal school, like how to deal with this kind of level of devastation, I would imagine.
I should write a book.
Yes,
you should write a book.
Should write a book.
The kids, that would be a great project
for principals across the country.
Lessons learned, not outside the classroom.
And I know a lot of school districts from around the state really reached out to our school district to help us through some of those hurricane rebuild efforts. And shout out to them, because they not only provided guidance in their playbooks on how to recover after a tragedy, but they also sent personnel to help our district. And so that really sped up some of the cleanup efforts that occurred. But you're right, principal school does not teach
that. No. You could teach a class in that now.
If everything continues to go along as it is successful, when do they start getting the rest of that facility finished up for you so you can
So the interlocal agreement has some thresholds to be met. It's somewhere around 90 to 100 students before we start building on the back end of the building, to include things like a cafeteria and some other outpost classrooms. Because right now we do not have a cafeteria. It's really quite cool that we have a food truck that comes from Lexington Middle every day.
Wow.
And brings us hot food.
Works. Yeah.
It works. And so we have a hot breakfast. We have a hot lunch every day. And we deliver it to the school, and we eat outside on our picnic tables, or if the inclement weather, we eat in our classrooms. And it's really just a fun kind of transition.
It's like a sort of camping kind of.
It's been great.
Is there anything else you want to tell everybody that's watching or listening here that how they can help?
Lots of prayers and support have always been one of those things that have sent really good vibes and energy our way. Anybody who wants to volunteer can call the front office, call the main line of the school, and we can get them processed through. And, there's plenty of projects that we have planned, including a sensory walk, perhaps some gardening that I know community members are all for. So,
the garden club down there, they got it going on.
I know.
There's a lot of knowledge down there in that garden.
There's always opportunities to support
Wheels are spinning
our staff
now.
and students.
Rose is going to be down there in no time soon.
Well, anything we can do to help, let us know, and I'll be contacting you about the gardening issue at some
About the what
point.
issue?
The gardening issue about that.
I know, right? I'll be getting lots of phone calls about that now, and I appreciate everyone's support. Really, I really have to say that a community isn't a community without a school, and so I appreciate all the love and support that everybody provided us through these last 14 months.
Dr. Tracy Kohler, everybody, the principal of the Fort Myers Beach Elementary School. Thank you for coming on, and Good luck.
Thank you.
And
I
welcome
appreciate
back.
it.
It's good to
Yes,
see you again.
yes.
Yes, you too. Thank you, guys.
All righty. All right. Is Pam still here? If we can get Pam to come back on and we'll wrap it up and we'll get. What are we doing? Yeah. Oh, I think there was a school teacher. Am I?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Do
We have a school. Come on, Alicia. It's okay. We don't bite. Come on. It's okay. I promise. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
She worried about me?
I don't think she's worried necessarily about you. Go ahead and have a seat.
Alicia?
All right. So, Alicia, we know nothing about you. Tell us what your name is and what you teach.
I am Alicia Catlett, and I've been teaching at the beach school for 27 years.
Wow. And what do you teach there?
This year I teach kindergarten and first grade.
Okay.
So we combined a couple of classrooms because our enrollment was down significantly, of course, because a lot of the kids had to be displaced. So a couple of us are doing what we needed to do to keep our school.
And do you live on the beach?
I don't. I've been coming from Cape Coral for 27 years. That's how much I love our school.
Okay, folks. Yeah.
That is a
Look
long
at that
drive.
camera and tell her that's insane. So from Cape Coral over, what drives you to go to that school? Like, tell us how.
The community. I mean, look at this and look what
Great
the
turnout.
outpouring of everyone after the storm. That's what it's been for 27 years. Yep.
Do you know somebody named Jenny, the crazy lady named Jenny on the beach? Jenny Tardif?
You mentioned the garden?
No, do you know
Jenny.
a Jenny Tardif?
I do.
She
She's
says
one
you're
of
a
our
rock star.
Aw, she's amazing. She's one of our former students years and years ago, and now her daughter comes to our school as well, Jenny.
Wow.
Yes.
So you get to see over. Wow. How
I'm not old enough
amazing.
to have said that I've had Jenny, but
You did or you didn't?
I did not.
I was going to say.
No, you
Cool.
look too young.
So how
for
does
that.
it feel to be back in the school?
it's amazing. And it was a long time coming, but it's just wonderful to be home.
That day,
Were you over in San Carlos when the kids were over there?
Yes. Yep.
So then you were commuting over there. And how did you find that? I mean, we heard from Dr. Kohler about what was your experience there?
Well, it was still about 20 miles for me, so it was about the same as driving to the beach. So that was fine, and everyone was really welcoming, and it was kind of nice having some other teachers to plan with and things. So you have to find the positives, of course. But I know it was hard for the parents to get their kids there and everything, and in the buses, it was hard.
that day when the kids were getting ready to go in the school for the first time with the fire engines and the sheriff's deputies, and it was just an unbelievable event.
It was awesome, and the kids they felt like movie stars.
Yeah.
Now, in your class, because they're doing the fundraiser tonight, and that money's going to go out. But are there some things that you specifically need for the kindergarten, first grade class that you want to kind of put a bug in people's ear?
Nothing that off the top of my head right now. We have plenty of the school supplies, such as glue sticks and pencils. We're all good on those kind of things. But if you look at our wish lists on Amazon, anything that pops up, I just throw on there as I see that I need it.
Now
if I go to grab a book that I'm like, oh, I love reading this book when it's Valentine's Day, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, I don't have that anymore. So things like that, and I'll put
And
that
the
on
library isn't open down there, so it's not even like you can go to the local library
Because
and
that's
get
not
stuff
open.
because that's not open.
Right.
So
hopefully we'll get to go on field trips there, and we're getting ready to have our library open on the campus as well. And the district has provided us lots of books for our classrooms too. So
Now the kids in kindergarten and first grade, did they use number 2 pencils like we
Oh,
used to
here we
use when
go.
we were growing up? They all number 2 pencils.
she understands this is new for you. It's a whole big thing with him about
And
number
what's
2
the difference
pencils.
between a
Here we
number
go.
2 and a number 1 and a number 3 pencil? Why does it always
it's the
have to?
hardness of the lead. Well, it's not lead anymore, but
Yeah. Yeah,
but
what is
was,
it?
I
Like
think it was
carbon?
it had to be number 2 for the scantrons.
Right.
Remember
Right.
the scantrons, right?
Yeah, where you had to bubble in your answers.
Not that I ever had the answers right, but I was always afraid if I colored that outside the lines, it was going to be automatically marked incorrect because I couldn't color with a number 2 pencil inside the line.
No, you would do a geometric design with those Scantrons. That's what you would
I'm
do.
surprised all the kids just don't have iPads and not have to worry about pencils anymore.
Yeah, a lot of it, there's not a lot of writing anymore.
No,
but we still want to encourage it, and we still do a lot of writing.
Do they still do writing, reading, and arithmetic in school? Because that's really what it should be all about.
You gotta get the basics.
You gotta teach the kids. I'm just saying. Do they teach the kids?
No one
is
going to take
like
advice from you.
Handwriting is the thing that's the best thing in the world. I always taught our daughter, you have to have neat handwriting. Sign your name like neatly, properly, and. Then doctors grow up and you can't read anything that they're writing on paper.
And now you can sign everything digitally anyway.
Yes, yeah. Just sign with your finger or type it in.
It's still definitely an emphasis, though.
Yeah. What do kids in kindergarten and first grade love the most right now besides napping?
They're not napping.
They're
like,
not?
hello, the
No
60s are calling me. Yeah, no.
Nope.
Wow.
Turn the lights out.
They go full day.
They kind of start getting, so we pass out a little snack.
Red Bull? They get Red Bull in kindergarten?
No, they
Red
get
Bulls?
no. Don't ever let him be the snack dad.
I'm going to volunteer.
School.
I'm going to show up with a trunk of Red Bulls. Here comes Ed.
No, it's not like it used to be where it was half-day school. These kids go the full day.
Full on,
Good for them.
Full day.
Yeah, that's why they get such good grades, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And when I have my combined class, and those kindergartners, they raise to the occasion, and they are amazing, and they're doing everything the first graders can.
Do you see a benefit of having the kindergarten and first together? Because I would imagine there are some pros to that.
There are for the students for sure. Yep.
Do they do buddies? They buddy them up?
They can buddy up sometimes, and they're great role models of first graders, and so it really is. It's a great model if run correctly. It's a lot of planning though on the teachers. And
because you're teaching 2 curriculums at that point.
Exactly.
I mean, 2 grade levels and with the curriculum.
Yes. Yep.
Is there really a curriculum for kindergarten these
there
days?
is.
Wow.
Yes.
It's pretty robust.
It is.
You keep looking at the principal like, am I saying the right thing? Or am I going to get yelled at? Or did I describe the number 2 pencil the wrong way? Wait, she's giving kids Red Bull behind my back? Well, Alicia, thank you so much for coming on. And congratulations on 27 years.
Yes. How long? And thank you for those 27 years, because I'm sure they weren't all easy ones.
No, but
how long do you want to teach for?
Probably 30.
Nice.
We'll see.
Very cool.
We'll see.
Well, thank you for everything, and thanks for coming on. You're a great guest.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
It wasn't that bad.
Kindergarten and first grade teacher, everybody, at the Fort Myers Beach Elementary School. All right, dear. Well, this is a wonderful event. If you're anywhere near Bell Tower, come on down and make a donation or bid on a product and
bid on a product.
Bid on a
gift
prize
basket.
package. Sorry, this is getting a little late for me.
I know.
So we are getting ready to bust out of here. We'll see you Saturday morning at Margaritaville. Our guests.
Do you know who the band is coming on? I'm going to go find out.
I don't, but you can find out.
Yeah.
Our guests on Saturday will be Mark Dorston from Dorston Claims, because it's never too late to have somebody on to help you get your insurance money back. Also, we're going to have Christy Hennessy on to talk about the Lover's Key Gala event. And we're going to have our first person that has thrown their hat into the ring for the Fort Myers Beach Town Council. So that's going to be cool. And we're going to be outside finally after 2 weeks of rain on Saturday. We're going to be outside you okay? We're going to be outside to do our show. So, all right.
So
we have 7 minutes.
There's one gentleman that's coming on later from 7 to 9 or 10.
Yes. They told me the name several times.
No, it just went out of my head. But Sky, hello. She wanted to come on and just mention that.
Wow.
Yes, I wanted to mention that the owner of La Ola, Tom, Fort Myers Beach, obviously he has a great place downtown Fort Myers Beach as well. All of the shrimp that he serves is locally purchased from Erickson and Jensen down on Fort Myers Beach.
Tom's such a good guy.
So, not the little shrimp that you see sometimes at
No,
restaurants.
that pink
These are
gold.
These are the big daddies.
The ones that you would be buying at the
Big
Shrimp
pink
Festival
shrimp.
in March. Very nice.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Tom, for that. And Tom is here working the crowd.
Well, thank you
very much.
Thank you guys so much.
Erickson and Jensen
We
Seafood.
appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Sure, we would rather be no other place but right here.
All right, are you ready to wrap it up?
Yes, and just for those folks that, no, I'll save it for the weekend. And then
Okay.
Sunday we'll be back with the mayor at Wahoo Willie. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for inviting us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.